KALB. This is a First Alert forecast.
Well, welcome back. So the Aurora, the chances for seeing the Aurora tonight continue to get even lower. There's some energy hitting the northern part of Earth's magnetic field. We need it to transition to the southern part of the magnetic field in order for us to see the Aurora this far south. So I want to bring you up to speed with the latest. Still some uncertainty that exists within the forecast. Of course, that energy could flip. We could possibly see it. I just wouldn't get your hopes up. It would take a G4 strength storm to see the lights once again here in Louisiana. So what is a geomagnetic storm? Well, it's a disturbance in Earth's magnetosphere that's caused by changes in energy from the solar wind. And you heard me mention that G4 just a moment ago. We rate these on a scale of 1 to 5. Right now, earlier today, we had G4 in the forecast. Now that's been bumped down to a G3, which is strong, just not quite strong enough for us to see the Aurora this far south. It'd take a G4 or possibly a G5, but the chances of a G5 at this point are very, very low. That's what we saw back in May of 2024. Now, if we were to see the storm strengthen back to G4 strength, this is how the visibility would look. For us, it'd be kind of right on the border of being on the northern horizon and only being visible with the camera only. So if we see things strengthen back up, we want to look to the north in an area with low light pollution. But again, things just not looking too great for us to reach that G4 or higher strength that we need in order to see the lights this far south once again. In fact, the greatest time window, 6 to 9 p.m. You'll notice we get up to G3 strength. That's in the latest forecast. But beyond that, the storm does start to die down as we go through the rest of the night. Now, we do have some cloud cover out there right now. That will briefly kind of taper off, and then we'll start to see cloud cover and fog back again as we head into tomorrow morning. In fact, here's a look at things just after midnight. Visibility is gradually starting to come down already. Probably some fog out in rural areas by this point. Then you'll notice some dense fog starting to work its way into the area by tomorrow morning. That could bring visibility down as low as a tenth to maybe a quarter of a mile in some spots. Then by mid-morning, things are looking a lot better as far as visibility is concerned. This morning was chilly out there. Of course, not as chilly as it was Sunday and Monday, where we had temperatures at or below freezing. We're back in the 40s for morning lows this morning. You'll notice that temperature trend keeping us in the 50s through the rest of this week, potentially in the 60s for those low temps later on next week. And then by the weekend, we start to see morning lows return back to the 50s. Highs this afternoon were perfect. We were in the mid to upper 70s across the board, so very, very nice. You'll notice we keep things pretty close to 80 degrees for highs for the next couple of days. Then we see a reduction, or temperatures reduced down into the mid and upper 70s as we head through the middle to latter part of next week. So hometown lows tonight, noticeably warmer. Again, we started things off today in the 40s. Overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, we're in the mid 50s. So it'll be a little bit nicer as you head out the door, especially if you're not a fan of those super chilly temperatures. By the afternoon, we're close to 80. So mid-morning, we're in the mid 60s, back to the 70s by lunchtime, mid 60s as we head through the early evening hours. Do want to give you the quick first alert to our next weather maker rolling through as we head into the beginning of next week. That will bring us some elevated rain chances, especially the first half of next week. You'll notice Tuesday into Wednesday, rain chances at about 40%. We could see higher rain chances even later on into next work week. Of course, we'll have to wait to fine tune that forecast. You'll notice in the meantime, though, temperatures already in the upper 60s for some, low 70s for others. Here's that hour-by-hour forecast. We're transitioning into the 50s after midnight tonight. That's also when winds become calm and fog is expected to develop. Here's your first alert 7-day forecast. Again, expect things to remain very nice and tame through the rest of the weekend. Then as we head into the first half of next week, that's when you want to keep that umbrella handy.
Yeah, gosh, so I guess now we have a rain-free weekend. Looks pretty good.
Yes, excited for that. Temperature's going to be on the warmer side, but not too hot. Going to be keeping it in the low 80s, so really can't ask for much better.
Yeah, the warm fall temperatures are nice. All right, thank you, Jake. Well, if you